Welcome again to another episode of the Washington SXM podcast. As always, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to click that bell to get notified whenever our video is out. I drop videos daily, so you can get notified and you can come back and check out what I'm talking about daily. But today though, I'm getting annoyed actually with right now how the world is going. The world is attacking anyone that's telling the truth. If you're smart and believe in facts and in facts and figures, you're demonized, and all the cruisers are taking over. Now they're going after Jordan Peterson. This is one of the most brilliant, outspoken psychologists there is out there. The guy's a brilliant guy. He wrote a few books, and now the Canadian government is attacking him. So let's get on the hit before I give my comment. I don't know. Let's go.
The Ontario College of Psychologists, which is the board that regulates the practice of psychology in Ontario and hypothetically protects the public interest, has levied a series of what are in essence lawsuits against me for unprofessional conduct pertaining primarily to my social media communication. And so they have decided in their wisdom that I am to be required to undertake a series of re-education lessons designed to ensure that I communicate in a manner they deem appropriate. And I have told them that there are no circumstances I can imagine under which I would be willing to do that. And the next step is to bring me before a public disciplinary hearing and then to suspend my clinical license. And so I'm making all of this public because I think people need to weigh in on whether I'm an alt-right, Nazi, harmful, bastion of intolerable political thought with a troll-like army of pathological followers, or whether the college itself is a corrupt nest of social justice vipers hell-bent on envy and revenge and using the tiny fraction of people who are complaining to put forward their own brand of personal pathology and vindictiveness. And, well, I'll make everything public except for that which I can't do on legal grounds and let everybody decide for themselves. That's the plan, because I might be wrong, and I guess if I am, I need to learn how. The regulatory boards that govern...
Stick up in. I've been listening to and watching Jordan Peterson for a while now, right? And when he's on an interview or he's giving a lecture or a debate, he always uses facts and figures and research to back up his claims all the time, especially when they're interviewing him. He never uses emotions, he uses logic. He talk about years of research. He don't say, I feel or I think. He uses research to prove his point. And now they're attacking this man for... Maybe he have millions and millions of people that listen to him and lectures he gives worldwide. But yet they are trying to sabotage this man's career by maybe they and this is what my thought is on this. They put people in the lecture rooms or online to spew negative comments towards him just to throw him off guard. So I think this is all planned to take him down, especially the Canadian government. Preferably talking about Trudeau, the Prime Minister.
Professional conduct in Canada, particularly in the US as well, and in the West more broadly, have become so corrupted by theology that the professionals you depend on in moments of crisis for legal advice and medical advice and psychological counseling, some of which can be life and reputation saving, they can...
Stick up in. I don't want to pass it. This is my last time passing it. But what he just said is, people who you should look for answers, lawyers, doctors, all these people are being silenced now, and doctors can't even tell someone they are fat presently. So there's so much thing going on now. They're attacking intelligence, they're attacking truth, facts, to fit some narrative that they are, that if you're fat and healthy, and you're good the way you are, or you need to do a sex change because you feel like you're a woman or you feel like you're a man. So there's all these things, and they're doing this through kids, to the kids. So once you get them from them young, they grow up like that. So they're no longer attacking adults his kids are targeting, and intellectuals. Let's continue. I won't stop it again for at least for a while.
No longer be trusted because they're being required by the professional bodies to lie to you in the service of this warped, radical leftist ideology that's now become, what would you call it, mandatory for right speakers wherever they might exist. And so that's why you might want to listen. They listed the fact that I criticized Justin Trudeau on multiple occasions. Before I submit myself to this media training re-education, because I'm bound by the ethical standards of my profession, I'm not willing to go get educated unless there's evidence that the contents of the educational program are directly related to the practice of my profession, and that there's evidence that undertaking such re-education actually makes me a more competent therapist. Do you have any independent documentation that these experts that you have hired and foisted upon me have anything approximating genuine expertise? And do you have any evidence whatsoever that such training programs are effective? And of course, they said, we don't have to answer questions like that. And I asked them,
I wonder why.
I said, you know, there's some evidence that I've done some good in the world. About 7 million people bought my first public book, and I have 15 million subscribers on the 3 main platforms we operate on social media. And lots of people seem to come to my lectures when I am out publicly speaking, saying that I've really helped them in their lives. And that's thousands or hundreds of thousands or possibly even millions of people. And so I think I can stack up a pretty good plus.
Stick up in. But they're overlooking all of this great thing he did, the lectures, the people who he had helped. And they're trying to take away his psychology license because they cannot attack him on anything else. So they can only attack him by taking away his license, which won't hamper him or stop him from keep on giving his lectures and do what he's doing. But it will only mean he can practice and help people who are really in need of a psychologist as brilliant as him, and experience and as experienced as he is, and the amount of years he has doing this. So this is one way they're trying to take him, but it won't work because he still have millions of people that bought his book and listen to him. So
all the students that I taught at Harvard and the University of Toronto, and all my clinical clients, who by and large were pretty damn happy to be working with me, and vice versa. It's like, how do you calculate the harm to benefit ratio? And, what evidence do you have that I actually constitute a sufficient threat to the integrity of the profession that you're willing to bring the second harshest actions you have in your arsenal against me? And the answer to that was, we don't have to answer questions like that. And I had like 40 questions like that, none of which were answered. Their answer basically was, we can do whatever the hell we want.
Because they don't have a
and
response.
We're telling you, you better go get re-educated.
They're puppets.
Or you face a disciplinary hearing. That's the next step, is that I have to face a disciplinary hearing. And what I'm going to do for that, I do believe they videotape that. And I'll take the videotape and put it on my YouTube channel, and people can decide for themselves.
Exactly.
Which is exactly what I want to have happen in this situation. Like you and I talked about our strategy here, and I have been unbelievably angry about it. So it's been very hard for me to control my anger.
And I won't be angry.
I know that's not right, and that my desire to seek vengeance is inappropriate, as is the desire in general to seek vengeance, right? But it's very difficult to read through these.
Stick up in. It's okay if someone is attacking you constantly, because he's been attacked constantly by the left and the so-called moral police people. If you've been attacked, you have all the rights to retaliate. But he's saying he don't have the right, but he do have the right to retaliate. If that was me, I'll be causing some issues. But again, that's why he is who he is, because I couldn't do what he does, because I'll be retaliating long time.
Allegations, and to face this waste of my time and the stress it puts on us, to me and your mother and our whole family, without being outraged at this, and a lot of the battle for the last couple of weeks has just been to keep my temper under control. But you and we talked through this.
He's
I
doing a
talked
good
through it
job.
with your mom and with Julian, about the fact that our attitude in general has been just to tell everybody what's going on as clearly as we possibly can. And I want to make it all public. I'm preparing a document today redacting all the names of the complainants, which I have been provided with by the college, by the way. I'm going to redact all their names and identifying information.
That's also ridiculous. This just isn't set up very well. Like, you'd think that if you were a problematic psychologist, you shouldn't be provided with the people's names that complained about you. That doesn't seem smart.
Yeah, well, I don't know what to make of that. And it's also problematic that people can levy accusations that bring down the heavy hand of a bureaucratic organization and bear absolutely no personal responsibility.
Stick up in again. I see, it's my last time pausing it. But that's the thing, the bureaucrats, the powers to be, the one who destabilize governments and the ones who make people stupid so they can rule over them and use them. These are the people who are doing this. I'm going to say these are the people. It's not a specific group as some people might think. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm talking about governments, specifically governments. If you keep people illiterate enough, then they won't retaliate against you as the bureaucrats, right? You get more money, you become more money, you keep people poor. So in this case, they're attacking intellectual. That's why I said, right now a doctor can't even say what a woman is. A doctor is not allowed to say what a woman is. He's not allowed to tell a person they're fat. So if you have people on the internet, which you have a lot of podcasts doing this, especially female podcasters, telling women you're pretty the way you are, you're fat, you're healthy, you're beautiful the way you are, and so you don't care how sick they are, they're telling you yes, you're good the way you are. So there's no need to get exercise, get fit, go out, meet people. Everything now is done through the pharmaceutical companies. They're trying to put everything on pills, like weight loss pills. Now they're targeting kids. Recently I heard they have a weight loss pill for kids, which is ridiculous. Send them outside, put on the games, telephone, go do some sports, go do some physical activities outside and you lose weight. But no, and eat healthy. They say you can eat what you want, you can eat all the cookies, all the cream, all the chocolate you want, and you want to put on that weight, it's not your fault, it's the world's fault, because they don't see how beautiful you are. And this is what, and they're doing the same thing with transgenderism, and pushing this narrative that if you feel like you're a girl, you're a woman, so you can go and do this multi-billion-dollar sex change company that they have going on right now. It's a multi-billion-dollar company. So everything is millions. It's millions on top of billions, and it's pharmaceutical companies, and they are pushing back now. Want to try to teach people to show them the way to go. Then they don't want the narrative to come on news, because the news hit this as well. It's online podcasts like this, like mine and others, and Jordan Peterson and others who is in despair. They can get information on, right? So they are pushing this narrative to everyone. Everything is good, hunky-dory, no need to panic, and whatever it is. So let's go, let's continue, and let's Jordan Peterson before I go off in another world.
That, professionals weren't afraid of the regulatory bodies, because generally the only people who complained were either people who were clearly disturbed, in some fundamental sense, or people who had legitimate reason to believe that they had suffered harm as a consequence of unprofessional behavior on the part of a lawyer or teacher or physician or psychologist. And the boards themselves have become staffed pretty much uniformly with social justice oriented, politically correct, faux compassionate, narcissistic commissars, and they do everything they can to make life miserable for anyone who doesn't share their political opinions. I mean, it's actually almost beyond comprehension to me that I'm engaged in a battle in my country of Canada where I have to defend my right to practice my profession as a licensed psychologist.
Ridiculous.
And I would say especially with my educational pedigree. I mean, Jesus, I was a professor at the University of Toronto. I trained clinical psychologists, and the fact that I have to defend my right to conduct my own profession because I retweeted a tweet from the official leader of Canada's Conservative opposition party and criticized Justin Trudeau and have made, at least upon occasion, conservative political pronouncements. The fact that that has now made me subject to heavy-handed punishment and investigation by a government-sponsored regulatory board is, it's absolutely incomprehensible. And so that's also, I would say, difficult.
We're gonna stop it there because we're gonna go into this is a part of the podcast I took and do this review one, okay? But what he's saying is facts. The government do not know. Remember, the governments no longer have that monopoly on putting this narrative on the news networks worldwide to paint a picture on someone. Now, because of YouTube and YouTube, Facebook, all the social platforms, TikTok, all of them, people have voices now. So when they say one thing, you can rebut it by posting this online, and you can get millions of people to view your thoughts, and then you can balance them out and see who is lying from who is not, because you can tell by what each person says, right? And this is what this is what is pissing off governments and bureaucrats and the powers to be. It's digging deep into their pockets and into their brainwashingness of people, especially the younger generation. So that's what is hurting them the most. That's why more voices are needed on platforms that are pushing in the narrative. Not narrative, is stating facts, not thoughts and not feelings. Facts. Objective truth, not subjective truth. I believe in objective truth at all costs. Subjectively, I can say a truth, but that doesn't make it the truth. It is the objective truth. And Jordan Peterson is one of those people that gives objective truth. Objective realities like Thomas Sowell, Jordan Peterson are two of the people that I listen to the most right now. I think this new guy named something like a Sumal. He's from Africa. I forget his first name, but his last name is Sumal. He's a brilliant lecturer as well. And I'm digging more deep into like Marcus Garvey and those guys from those in the early 70s, 80s. Those guys. There's not much people now out there you can listen to, because some of these people are being bought and sold by the powers to be. So there's very few, and you can know them. Anytime you see the governmental agencies or governments or news networks attack a person, right, that's proof. That's all the people need to know that the person is not lying. Because the more they attack the person, the more you know that's what they're doing is just to hide a narrative or hide a fact. So unless the government go after a person, no one know that person is most likely on the right path. You don't know. So that is it for today. Hope you learned something from Jordan Peterson. And be careful out there in the world, as I always say. Anyway, you don't know what it is. Peace, one love. Boom.